Many have asked us, why do I run? Why do I run for the position that my father once held?
Mr. Hoffa came into our union at a critical time, and it needed somebody of his stature, but of his personality, too.
Proud to be a Teamster, proud and strong.
Every man is born for his time, and I think my brother's time was when he became the president.
I run because I cannot stand by and see the greatest union in the free world destroyed by a handful of leaders that put their own power and financial gain above the membership.
Our union was broken.
I run because I see a union that has abandoned thousands of our workers here in Michigan without adequate strike benefits.
That's why he ran, to rebuild the union, and he did.
He's a very, very honest man, and he brought integrity to this union.
He brought the past back. He brought our power back. The biggest thing is he instilled pride back in us.
And I don't think anybody else could have done it.
You know, today we embark on a great crusade. A crusade that I ask you to join to rebuild our union. A crusade to restore Teamster greatness. But I say, let's begin that journey today. Let's start today.
It's all part of my dad's legacy. It's bringing back that memory of the Teamsters under my dad. I think that's all part of it. And this is a picture of my dad, my brother, and myself. My brother was a handsome fellow, let me tell you. He was a lady killer. We were a middle-class family, except we had a famous father. He always made us a part of his life. And we would stop at picket lines, get out, talk to the strikers, find out what their issues were. There's my mom, look at that. She had to hang the clothes out on the clothesline. I believe that we are going to school.
His father was big on his school and big on him getting an education. He wanted to move him into an educational role, but you couldn't take it out of Jim's blood. You know, he's just like his father. The Teamster movement has been in his blood.
I stand before you today as the proud son of James R. Hoffa, the greatest organizer we've ever had.
You start seeing the Teamsters International President, you know, on CNN, on MSNBC. You didn't see that before.
My brother has that little bit more polish because he's gone through school, he's a lawyer.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Newly elected head of the Teamsters Union is promising a return to the union's glory days.
James Hoffa is picking up where his father left off some 30 years ago.
We have to get back to the moral issue, which is the fact that people are being persecuted. We have to make sure this is a good deal for the American worker.
He brought a whole new electricity. He brought a whole new energy.
He was the right leader at the right time to say, let's do this, we can do this, we will do this. He never gives up, never.
Let's get the job done. Let's let the voice of labor be heard in the land. Let's do this.
When we walked in the door in March 1st of 1999, our international building was in shambles. We were broke. We had no strike fund. Our strike fund actually was $17 million in the hole.
Well, how can you operate without a strike fund? You're just like a paper tiger.
The union was really fractured, really divided.
A divided union, yes. Two warring camps.
Brothers and sisters, please meet and greet our General President, James P. Hoffa.
We needed everything done at the beginning. He rolled his sleeves up and got to work.
Let us here proclaim on this sacred day that the long nightmare has ended.
One of the first things that Jim knew he had to do is he had to unify the organization.
Well, his commitment was, if we don't organize, we don't grow, we don't succeed.
We will leave a legacy which we can be proud of. We are your friends. We are your allies. We are the Teamsters.
He built a consensus by talking to people, reasoning with them.
Started by reaching out to people like me who didn't support him. And then, of course, when I committed to support him, I reached out to people that I knew.
Let's get on with the work. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And he started rebuilding the finances of the union.
There wasn't a dues increase in this movement for over 25, 30 years. And he got the leaders in the Teamsters Union to vote to increase the per capita, which is the dues a member would pay, from 2 times their hourly rate to 2.5 times their hourly rate.
And right now, the International is back to being very financially stable.
Today, we got $291 million in strike fund, $100 million in general fund, and everybody's pension is secure. I mean, it's amazing just to do one of them things in your career. To do them all,
The battle has just begun.
I could go on for hours on the list of his accomplishments.
The survival of the National Master Freight Agreement, the National Car Haul Agreement, National Construction Agreement, thousands and thousands of contracts.
Rebuilding our political action department and creating within that an intensive lobbying department that has the respect of all political parties in the United States.
Toyota, you can't hide. We can see your greedy side.
No question, under the leadership of General President Hoffa, the Teamsters are the most powerful labor organization in North America.
Jim has made a huge impact in bringing diversity to the Teamsters Union,
He was always supportive of women in the workforce.
as well as people of color, Black, Hispanics, Latinos.
You can be gay, straight. It doesn't matter in the Teamsters movement. Everybody is created equal. Well, the UPS contract is our #1 contract in the movement. I mean, the wages and benefits and condition for UPS workers is phenomenal.
Can you imagine being a regular worker and your health care is paid for? You make great wages, not good wages, but great wages as a UPS driver. $10.4 billion in a package. That comes from understanding leverage. That comes from being a general president with power.
It's amazing what's happened to our union because, number one, we finally settled UPS. It's done. The largest industrial contract in America, 250,000 Teamsters. The contract is done.
His father was a great supporter of education for the sons and daughters of Teamster members.
And Jim Hoffa wanted to continue that. And when he got to be president, that was one of the first things he wanted to do, was sit down. How can we develop a fund? How can we make funds available for Teamster members that may not be as privileged?
And a lot of our workers' kids wouldn't have an opportunity to go to college if they didn't have this avenue.
There's a sitting congressman from Philadelphia who got one of the first $10,000 scholarships.
This James R. Hoffa Foundation will go on forever.
It goes back to his belief that we should share, that the Teamsters Union is here to help the working class, the underprivileged.
Jim had a vision and he had a dream. He also had the resilience to achieve those dreams.
His father created the Central States Pension Fund. Jim Hoffa saved it.
This is about Americans. This is about people that played by the rules, the people that worked hard every day, that worked 45 years, 40 years on the job.
No cuts, no cuts, no cuts.
He made a promise 13 years ago that he was going to save the pension fund for millions of workers.
There were a lot of people within this union during this whole period who were telling him, you can't change it, accept cuts. You know, we got to cut the best deal we can. And Jim said, no, we're going to keep fighting because we're on the right side of the angels.
But the simple expectation is that I will get what was promised me. I will be able to retire in dignity. That's what you were promised.
I mean, he was persistent, he was motivated, and he was going to do everything in his power before he left to fix these members' pension.
And the answer is, it's time for those promises to be kept right now. Let's get it done.
And he was successful.
And we did it.
Jim Hoffa is an unbelievable leader because he's always going to have your back.
I've walked strike lines with him. What other general president, what other union official can say they actually are walking a picket line with workers? Just his humbleness.
Always showed up. Can never see a time that he was not there for support.
We're just getting
and
started.
He was never missing in action.
He has a no-lose attitude. He doesn't have a quit in his game.
The Teamsters are strong.
He's not a leader that overpowers a conversation. He wants to know what you think.
He has that kind of a personality that whatever apprehensions you might have, he puts you right at ease.
That's what makes him so human.
No matter what status in life that they have. He makes presidents comfortable, and he makes rank and file workers comfortable.
We ended government control of our union. They're out of our union. And you know what? Give it back to the members where it belongs. Absolutely. That's right.
Hey, Teamsters. I want to thank you. President Jimmy Hoffa, you've been a good friend a long time, and a big thanks to all of you for what you do every single day.
The victories and the challenges, he was there for everyone. I don't know how he could spread himself so thin, but he did, to me and millions of others. So, you know, when you say goodbye to him, like, who is going to fill his shoes? Who can possibly fill that man's shoes?
What you achieved here will create a new legacy for the Hoffa name.
Strong.
Mentor.
Unwavering.
Funny.
And passion.
From the bottom of my heart, on 1.3 million members, we thank you for your commitment, dedication to this movement.
This ends the Hoffa era in the Teamsters, but the Hoffa presence will always be there. And what you have accomplished will always stand as a proud memory